Okay, guess what we are working on in this video? I am gonna try to actually write a pattern for this little kind of button trimmed, fitted thumb hole long sleeve top that I made a few videos ago. I actually asked in my story which pattern you wanted first, this one or the crochet diagonal one. The crochet diagonal one is like extremely delayed, but it's definitely more of like a spring summer top. So I feel like it makes sense for me to do this long sleeve one first. I was honestly kind of on the fence about writing a pattern for this just because I don't think I'm a very advanced knitter or knitwear designer. And when it comes to like nice sweaters, I feel like there's so many well-written patterns out there, but I did get tons of comments from people saying that they also couldn't find like a fitted long sleeve pattern that actually accommodates the bust. Because all the ones I've seen, this part's just like a straight up and down tube, which means that it doesn't really snatch you that well unless you have no boobs like me. It's still gonna be a pretty simple beginner friendly pattern. It's just gonna have some short rows here for the bust and obviously like some decreases on the sleeves. Now for this shirt, I use the Hedgehog Fibers Alpaca Boucle. It's kind of an interesting yarn because it technically is lace weight, but because it has those extra loops from the boucle, it honestly came out like pretty opaque. But I didn't really want to write a pattern where you have to use a boucle. So for this one, I'm using the Lovely Lace from 7th Floor Yarns. You can see a little bit more in the skein, but it's this stunning variegated solid. I originally found this yarn and this brand at Vogue Knitting Live last year, and my roommate's working up a project in the same yarn, so I know what it looks like worked up, and it's just like so beautiful and I think so elevated over just like a simple solid. This yarn is also kind of interesting in that it's a lace weight, but it's alpaca, not mohair, so it definitely has a little bit more fuzz to it. I think if you work this with like your typical single strand lace weight mohair, it'll give you like a very sheer look, versus if you use something like an alpaca boucle, it'll be more opaque. It just depends what look you're going for. I did use a stretchy cast on. It's called like the German twisted end one. I don't remember what it's called. I normally just do a really loose long tail, but in my patterns, I like to recommend a stretchy cast on, so I feel like I should also do a stretchy cast on. This shirt is worked bottom up, so it's just gonna be a tube until we hit the bust shaping. This part's pretty straightforward. I do think this is gonna be a two-part video because as much as I love finishing one project per video, it means that nothing I make is like ethically produced. I have to knit for hours every single day if I want to finish a project and edit the video and get one YouTube video up a week. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But right now, it's like one of the first completely plan-free days I've had in so long, and I get to just knit and watch TV, which everyone knows is my favorite thing to do. So I'm gonna get dressed and probably just go to a cafe so that I'm not sitting at home all day. Look how cute this little striped cardigan is. It comes with a matching skinny scarf. It's from one of my favorite brands, Damson Matter. I got gifting from them and I'm so happy because I love their stuff. Like, look at the little ruffled trim. I want to show you the other stuff I got, but honestly, I'm probably just gonna end up wearing it later in this video. I also love this shirt because it pairs perfectly with this faux suede jacket. I think I've worn it before in one of my previous videos. It's from 12th Tribe and it is pretty cold out. We had a whole ass blizzard a few days ago. So we're gonna do my brown fur. I feel like I'm getting better at layering. I guess out of necessity because this winter has been cold as balls. And for our bag, I'm kind of ashamed that I forgot about this. It like disappeared into a corner of my closet, but it's perfect for the colder weather because it has this like larger strap, so it actually fits over your shoulder. And this bag holds so much, but it has a magnetic closure at the top so that you can stuff it full and not have like your shit falling everywhere, which is what happens to me. Also, we made little Chinese knot keychains for Chinese New Year and look how cute it is. Our scent is gonna be Sesame Shower from Concreted. I feel like I've mentioned this a million times, but to me it literally smells like a toasted black sesame tangyuan. So I love it. And this is definitely a project that I want to keep in a project bag. I got a new I Love Crafting pin on this bag. Someone who watches my videos gave it to me at Vogue Knitting Live, and now it lives on my project bag because I do love crafting. The sun is actually so reflective off the snow, so I'm gonna throw on my favorite little Jimmy Fairley sunnies, and there is the outfit. No, it's good to go.
It's kinda crazy, the kinds of things life throws at you. I never knew knew I'd feel so safe in your arms. Now you're all I need. It wasn't long before I knew that I fell for you and you had my heart. As fast as the seasons changed, my heart was stolen. Parts of me that were broken found love. And no amount of distance can change how I'm feeling, 'cause I know this is real.
So, as you saw, this is actually my second attempt at this top because my first attempt, well, there was a lot wrong with it, but let me just show you how it's looking so far. This is why I love these variegated solids from 7th Floor Yarns. Like, just look how freaking pretty that is, and it looks like this in every single shade. So what I really should have done is make a gauge swatch and then figure out how many starting stitches I need to get the width I want for my top, right? But I never freaking do that. So I realized kind of late that the top was way too wide, but I also realized the needles were a bit too big. I got away with using 5mm needles for the alpaca boucle one, but that yarn, I don't know, it's like marked as lace weight, but it's really, really not. So for this yarn to get this kind of like semi-sheer textile that I have now, I definitely needed to size down. I'm actually using 3.75mm needles, but in the pattern, I'm gonna say it's more like a 4.25 to 4.5, just because my gauge is so freaking loose. Like, I was trying to knit tighter yesterday, but it makes my wrists and like my forearms hurt so much. I get questions about how my wrists don't hurt, and I swear it's because I knit so loose. So for me, it's just easier to size down my needles and knit super, super loose, and then just recommend a large needle for people to meet my gauge. I actually just put this on like a cord extender thing so that I could try it on. And you can see it's not like super, super snatching, like kind of fit. I know that knit is stretchy and you can make a top that's like that big and it will stretch to fit you, but I don't really love how that looks. It makes me kind of feel like a sausage and sausage casing. So I just wanted this to be fitted without having to stretch a lot. So this is perfect for me. I honestly didn't realize I got this far because I've been engrossed in watching Bridgerton. The second half of the season came out at 3 a.m. last night, and I had to exercise so much self-control to not watch it at 3 a.m. and like wait until today like a normal human being. But we are almost at the under bust, and this is when you want to start talking about bust shaping, which actually reminds me that we should talk about measurements for the pattern. Obviously the first one is like the working circumference of the bottom of your shirt, a measurement that I failed to hit the first time. And I wouldn't say this is like the tiniest part of your waist, closer to like your kind of lower waist. At least for me, I like my top to kind of like meet a low-rise pant. And then for the bust shaping, we need to see how much more length you need in the front of the shirt than the back. And that's actually why I have my Victoria's Secret push-up bra on right now, because with my natural boobs, there's kind of not a difference, but for the sake of writing this pattern, I'm gonna make this top for this imaginary chest. So we're gonna start right here at the top of the shoulder, and it could be helpful to get a friend for this just because you wanna go down over like the tallest point of your boob, but it should all be like flush to your body. And then you wanna go down into like this under boob crevice and then go straight down to the desired length of your top. For me, that is 50 centimeters in the front. And then you're just gonna repeat the same thing in the back, all the way down to the desired length of your shirt. Comes out to around like 46, 47 centimeters. So I basically need an extra 3 to 4 centimeters of length right here to accommodate the bust. Also, you may have noticed I've started knitting with a pillow in my lap, because a lot of knitters and crocheters carry like crazy tension in their shoulders and traps because we're constantly like holding our elbows up, you know? I saw a girl talk about knitting with a pillow in her lap and she holds it like this, which doesn't really work for me. I prefer to like clamp it under my armpits. It's a really small change, but it actually does make a really big difference. And I love to call knitting my self-care, but like if I'm completely destroying my body as I do it, I don't think it's really self-care. Speaking of self-care, the mask that I was using this morning, I normally use it at night. This is the FAQ 202 from Foreo, who are also kindly sponsoring this video. I've talked about this a million times. It's an FDA cleared LED light therapy mask. I've been using this, I want to say like somewhere between 6 to 9 months now. It really has improved my skin, reduced fine lines and wrinkles. I don't have as much acne as I had during puberty, but I just have kind of like an uneven skin tone, and this has really helped. Super easy to use. I like to prep my face with their peptide serum. It has 8 different wavelengths that all have different skincare benefits, and you can actually connect it via Bluetooth to your phone. In the app, you can choose a treatment and it will automatically go through different wavelengths for different time intervals. I feel like self-care is a term that has become so overused and kind of commoditized, but for me, it's about intentionally setting aside a time to invest in yourself and do something that you know will make you feel better. I can't lie. Having skin that looks good without makeup on has done wonders for my confidence. I also feel like as a freelancer, my life has very little routine, but I'm actually quite consistent with my evening routine, and the 15 minutes that I use this are just 15 minutes for myself. I think it's important to set aside pre-sleep time that isn't just like doom scrolling until your eyes start to close. This mask is a little bit more of an investment. I think it's worth it because you can use it for a lifetime, so your cost per use just goes down really quickly if you're using it every night. And they have some really good sales going on right now for Women's Day, which you can take advantage of. Even if you aren't a woman, you can use my code amazing30WD for an additional 30% off almost all their items, even the ones that are already discounted. So just a perfect time to invest in some self-care for you or any other loved one. And now I need to get back to Bridgerton because I actually have dinner and mahjong at my friend's place tonight, but I am sure as hell not going until I have finished this season. I have my priorities straight.
Oh, this is 100. Good day.
Alice, unfortunately now is not an ideal time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an ad.
It's kind of campy, like a knit bib.
Wait, it's kind of,
Big baby.
if you wore this with like large jeans tucked into boots.
It's like cowl neck vibe.
He and Flyby, it doesn't really make sense because this thing is Korean food, by the way. The He and Flyby Jing came out with the hot pot bomb, which is basically the same as like any hot pot pack that you get, and they called it the first ever hot pot bomb. I know
If you're in doubt, think of streets. Like, just think of
60.
names out in American cities that are streets.
So true. Jefferson.
See, that's the point. There's Jefferson Ave down the block.
I just think this is so. I thought it should go more like that, the angle.
You need the angle to be pretty steep, otherwise it ends up really long. Try to be looser on the front and the beginning and end of each row. But I think if you just block it and then like stretch the living hell out of these edges, it'll be fine.
Oh, they're
Maisie, make sure she picks the wrong tile so I win. Maisie, what do you think? Oh my god, it's so cute. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Usually when I film these process videos, every day that I check in, there's like 2 to 3 days between, right? Because I'm not making enough progress in one day to give you an update on the project. But I have been cranking on this. I also just got really frustrated with my filet crochet video, like my last video. The filming process just ended up dragging out over 2 weeks because I had so much other stuff going on and I never really had time to like sit down and work on my project. So this week I really kept my calendar quite clear and I've literally just spending every single day knitting, which is so awesome. But I'm too lazy to like switch the cords on this and try it on for you. But what we've done since the last update is added like the bust shaping here. Honestly, you probably can't really tell, but basically there's like another kind of like trapezoidal strip of additional volume that we did here with the short rows. I was like drawing in my notebook trying to figure out all the math. I feel like my spatial reasoning is not that good. Here we are working on the neckline. So what I basically did was like cast off this center section of stitches. I used a stretchy cast off. I forgot what it's called. It's a pretty simple one. It does help to have like a small crochet hook to just get everything through, but it's not like the Italian bind off where you need like a needle and you have to like be doing all this complicated shit. And it is pretty stretchy, as you can see. And then I just worked an extra few rows right here on kind of like the right shoulder. And then I'm gonna work a few rows right here on the left shoulder. And that will be the end of the front panel. So basically this is a pretty high neckline. So we don't need a lot of extra length on the shoulder parts. Also, when I split it, like when I went from working in the round to working the front and back pieces, you can tell I did some decreases here too for this kind of like armhole curve. For a drop shoulder sweater, kind of like this one, this is my watercolor brush knit sweater, it doesn't really matter, right? Because it's like so far from where your shoulder is that you can just kind of work it like a rectangle. But for this one, because it's like a slim fit, you do want to have a little bit of a curve here, just a tiny bit, because I do still want the shoulder seam to sit pretty far out. And yeah, from here, I just need to finish this last shoulder bit. We're going to cast off up here. And then for the back, it's going to be very simple. I'm just going to take this back half of stitches and work it straight up until, once again, we get to the shoulder part. And then we are just going to connect the front and back panels by seaming right here at this two kind of shoulder sections, and then our torso part of the top will be done. I cannot remember the last time I churned with this much speed through a knitting project. I honestly think I might just end part 1 with the torso, and then in part 2 we can worry about like sleeves, final embellishments, blocking, but we'll see, because a lot of times I finish the front and the back panels, I seam it together, I try on the torso part, and then there's something I don't like about it and I have to go back and adjust things. Even though I'm technically making another version of that original top, this kind of just turned into me basically writing a new pattern. So it's definitely, what is it called? A trial and error type of thing. Ugh, I'm so annoyed. Every time I put on this sweater, I just remember how much I love this pattern. I think the problem was like a lot of my testers had issues meeting gauge, and so a lot of the sizing didn't really come out the way it was supposed to. I also made a bunch of adjustments to the pattern based on feedback from the testers, and so I feel like my tester gallery, it has some really beautiful sweaters, but there aren't a ton that really fit the way that this original one does, and that's probably part of the reason it doesn't sell as well as I had hoped. But I do just want to make another one because I wear this all the time. And I obviously have like a ton of mohair, so I could easily do another like multicolor striped one just in a different color palette. I'm actually about to head out soon because I need to do some returns. I need to ship out some packages because I did like a mini yarn giveaway on my Instagram story. Actually, I can't ship those out because I messaged the giveaway winners and they're not responding to me. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm in their message requests or what, but I don't have any of their addresses. And I'm like, hello. Over this sweater, I'm so excited to wear this new coat that I just got from Damps and Matter. I mentioned I got some gifting from them. Their stuff is just so well made. Like, look at the embroidery on the back. They also have like the DM embroidery right here on the button lapel. And you can see this has like a little peplum situation. Actually, let me just put it on to show you, like, look how stinking cute that is. I also really love this like strip of kind of electric blue that they put on the inside. I just feel like there's so many nice details to this jacket. And you can button her up and then you can use this cord to cinch it, and then you really get like such a cool shape on the coat. And I'm too lazy to do it right now, but there are buttons down here, so you can actually remove this bottom panel, and then I'll insert a photo. It becomes this really cute like cropped kind of flare trench. You guys might know I have a long cream trench that I thrifted in Paris that I really love, and I have my cropped cream trench from Cezanne, but I don't really have a jacket that I love in this greenish color, and I feel like this goes with so many of the colors in my wardrobe, so very excited about this. And for our scent, I honestly have kind of forgotten about this one. It's Edinburgh from Chanel. I feel like this is a little bit polarizing because it low-key kind of smells like grass. I can't explain it. It's like really earthy, but it really does smell like grassy hills with cows on them, which I know it doesn't sound appealing, but I just feel like it's a very, very unique scent. And I think a lot of perfumes definitely run a bit sweet. So I love how completely opposite of sweet this one is. Gonna carry this Pedro bag again. Oh my gosh. It like really matches this jacket. I actually love how these look together. And it's not that cold outside, so I can skip on the boots and wear my little butter yellow Cezanne flats. I love wearing these with this sweater. And here is our full outfit for the day. Hopefully when I come back, I have a finished torso portion that actually fits the way I want it to. Fingers crossed. Could I do the cardamom latte, but with a little bit less milk, if that's possible?
Want a cappuccino?
That would be amazing.
I slept really badly.
We both slept good 2 nights ago.
Okay, these are so cute. For my next sweater. Wait, how much is this?
$28.
Oh, it's not as bad as I thought it'd be. I really want a nice tray. This colored candle is so pretty. Oh, it matches me. I actually haven't been here. Oh, it's so satisfying to walk on. Yeah, me too. We're picking a size. This is so cute. Whoa.
Oh wait, I like this one.
Oh my god, it's so cute. Oh, get into it. No, I think that's you. Oh, that's so cute. You're
that's
this one.
literally me. Yes, with my big boobies.
What the fuck?
They're incoming.
Now, I really wish I could tell y'all that I just went ahead and finished the back panel and seamed everything together and it fit perfectly and I'm just a god tier knitwear designer, but what actually happened, and honestly you can probably tell from how small the top was when I was holding it up in the last clip, it did not fit right. And I always make this mistake when it comes to shirts that are like stretching a little bit. When it stretches to fit your body, you lose a lot of your length. So the top when you're holding it up needs to be like longer than the length of the top when it's on your body, if that makes any sense. So I did in fact have to basically redo this entire top portion and add way more length. And I will say like undoing, actually this yarn is surprisingly easy to frog, but the cast off, like the stretchy cast off I was using, that was not easy to frog. And I had to do a lot of frogging, but I will say with a normal knit, this yarn is actually pretty easy to undo. So that was a pleasant surprise, especially because it's like so freaking soft. I thought it was gonna be like hella tangled. But yeah, there was some trial and error as I somewhat predicted, but I'm really happy with how it fits now. I guess I need to put on my giant mommy milker bra to try this on for you. I forgot. Oh, and also look how freaking cute this cardigan is. This is also from my Damson Matter gifting, and it comes with a detachable little hood. I don't know where it is. I'll insert a photo of the sweater with the hood. It's so cute. The only problem is that obviously everyone is asking me if I made it, and I'm like, no. I will say that hood made me want to knit. I'm thinking either like a Sophie hood or Aver P, one of my favorite fiber arts content creators, just came out with a knit striped hood that I feel like is very similar, and I just like really, really love her designs. So what was I saying? Oh, I need to try on the top. getting so distracted. Okay, here's how it's looking. I'm actually so happy with it. I did what I would call like a half-assed block last night. I didn't do like a full block because obviously I'm gonna block the whole shirt when it's done, but I just soaked it in some water and let it air dry flat, mostly because I wanted to straighten out this curled edge. I also gave it a little bit of a horizontal tug here, and this is why the stretchy cast off is so important, because we want this neckline to be like very wide and high. I just think it's so flattering. And you can see there are a few additional rows to help get you over the shoulder, but the neckline is basically straight across. I think you can also see the bust shaping a little bit better now. There's basically a section of short rows on this under bust portion. And if I turn to the side, the top is the same length in the front and the back. If I didn't add the short rows, you would see like this front of the shirt lifting because of this extra volume here. I will say I undershot it a little bit. Like I didn't fully go for like the push-up bra measurement just because I don't think I'm gonna wear this bra under this top. I'd probably wear something a little bit less padded. But I mean, I think the amount that I added honestly still works for this bust size as well. Honestly, even with the push-up bra, I'm not like a huge cup size, but I think this will make a really big difference for people who do have a larger bust, or especially I know some girls who are like really, really slim in their frame, but then have huge boobs. What a difficult life. But I think for like that kind of body type, the rectangle, like not having the bust shaping really doesn't look good because you can see the fabric stretching more in this area. And I just feel like having like just a few extra rows really makes such a difference. In terms of sheerness, I would say it's like semi-sheer. You can see the shape of the bra I'm wearing, but it's definitely not like fully visible in your face. I do feel like if you use like a lace weight mohair, it'll be more sheer. If you use a boucle, it'll be more opaque. Like I said, it's just kind of up to you what yarn you want to choose. But yeah, I am so happy with how this is fitting. It's still like really weird for me to finish a video at this point. Like y'all know the torso is usually the halfway point of my video, but it's fine. It's fine. You guys will come back for part 2. And for once, like my check-ins for this video were actually on consecutive days. So I feel like it gives you a much more accurate idea of how much I'm knitting, because I do think some people just think that I'm like literally cranking out full garments every week, which sometimes I am, but usually I'm not. I do need to think about what embellishments I want to have. I obviously had those mother of pearl buttons on the bottom edge of that other shirt, and that would honestly look cute with this as well, but I feel like I want to do something different, like maybe something a little bit more subtle. I'm honestly thinking about adding beads instead of buttons. We'll see. But anyway, keep your eye out for part 2. As always, when I finish writing the pattern, I will post the application to test it on Instagram. Oh, and don't forget to check out the Women's Day sales for Foreo. Get yourself a little self-care treat. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye, guys.
You left